Good morning, dear students. We will begin with a new lesson from Unit 2, Chapter 2 Nature created man and woman as equals. Now, the title itself conveys the message of the lesson. We need to realize that this topic is a very important one to make you realize that there is no difference in the capabilities and qualities of men and women. This lesson brings out the message beautifully. But before we begin, now on page number 30, there is a warming up activity for you to do. There are different pictures where you have to mention the differences between how men and women are treated or how girls and boys are treated. Similarly, down, which pictures reflect gender equality, and also to write two slogans on gender equality. I'm sure, children, that this topic has been, very famous, so that you all know and you all can easily solve these activities. Okay, so let's begin. I hope all of you all have your textbooks, page number 31. Nature created man and woman as equals. The house and its surroundings are a sight of peace in the early morning of April. It nestles by the side of a small stream of crystal clear water. The stream tumbles down the green mountains only 2 miles or so away. There is a stretch of hundreds of acres of fertile land rolling with yellow mustard flowers between the mountain ranges and the house. A garden is in front of the house. Trees of many kinds bearing flowers of various hues and fruits grow on all sides of the house. The courtyard smells of jasmine, which blooms in bunches of white pearls. The fragrance mingles with the thin smoke that rises from sweet smelling incense sticks. The burning incense sticks are glowing at the altar of God in the middle of the courtyard. So, in the beginning, they've given us such a beautiful introduction of, a house that has been placed in such a beautiful scenery where there is water flowing, where there is green, luscious trees, plants, flowers, as well as incense sticks. What are incense sticks? Nothing but your agarbattis, which are light for uh, holy purposes, for praising God. Okay, nestles meaning somewhere that is very close to. Tumbles down meaning to come pouring down. Hues means various colors. So there are lots of flowers that have various colors that are growing nearby the house. So a very beautiful picture has been given to us, children, about how there is such a beautiful house in between this very scenic beauty that of nature. Okay. Ashangbi is in her reading room and is busy writing an article. She is a middle aged woman, mother of 3 children, and a journalist and women's rights activist. Lanthoy, her youngest daughter, enters the room. She is an intelligent girl. Today, she looks thoughtful and she takes a seat by her mother's side. At the sight of her child, Ashangbi lovingly asks, "Have you finished your study, my dear?" "Yes, mother, I finished it last night. Today being Sunday, I want to do something interesting," Lanthoy says and waits for her mother's response. "Tell me what you want to do," Ashangvi asks her, quite amused. "Mother, tomorrow I'm going to represent the Siroy Lily House as a speaker in a symposium at our school. The topic is God created men and women as equals. Will you spare some time to have a discussion with me?" Lanthoy presses on her mother. Now, here we are introduced to our characters. The first one is Ashangbi and her daughter, that is Lanthoy. Okay, now here we see that Ashangvi is a very, successful woman who is not only a mother of three children, but is also a journalist, and she's a woman's rights activist where she fights for the rights of women. Okay, so we see that she is a very accomplished woman, and we see her daughter who is also a very intelligent girl, and she has been given the chance to be part of a discussion at a symposium. What do you mean by a symposium? It is a meeting where people come together, usually people who are experts on a particular subject, that come and have discussions. And she has been given the chance to speak on the topic God created men and women as equals. And knowing that her mother works for the benefit of women, she thought that she could have a discussion with her mother as well. Okay, so Lanthoi really trusts, she believes her mother's opinions, and she wants her advice. What are her opinions? What are her views based on this topic? Lanthoi has just had a discussion with her father on the topic. Tomba, her father, is a husband supportive of the activities of his wife and a loving father. He is a lawyer and a social worker who advocates the cause of women. He is always proud of his wife, the two daughters, and the son. In times of need, he extends his helping hand to his wife and children and to the society at large. He does not discriminate between a man's work and a woman's work anywhere. He shares equally with his wife in doing the household chores like cleaning, washing, cooking, and feeding the children. Had he not shared in these activities in the way he does, his wife would not have been a successful professional. He wholeheartedly believes in equality irrespective of class, religion, and gender. In his discussion with his daughter, he laments over the great injustice done on women in the society, telling her, "My dear child, the world is still full of inequalities. We have to find a way to bring equality between men and women." So, Lanthoi, of course, being an intelligent girl, the topic is playing on her mind. She's constantly thinking about what she should say and what are the various things that they should discuss on. And then she even has a little discussion with her father. Now, we are introduced to our third character, that is the father. His name is Tomba, and we get to know what kind of a character he is. He is a very supportive husband because he supports his wife in all her activities, and not only that, he also is always proud of his wife's achievements, his two daughters, as well as the son. Okay, and we also know something more about the father. What do we know? That he is always helping the mother and the children at home. Okay, so we see that he does household work like cleaning, washing, cooking, feeding. Okay, and he believes that there is no need to discriminate between men and women because he believes all of them are equal. He also is a lawyer and a social worker, so he knows what the condition of women is in society. And when his daughter brings up this topic, he talks to her and says that it is really sad. To lament is to feel very sad, okay, over the injustice that is done to women in the society. He says that it is really, really pathetic to see how women are treated in the society, to show sorrow. And he says the world is full of inequalities. We have to find a way to bring equality between men and women. Although we say that men and women are equal, but in reality, when we see in society, it is not so. Women are always considered as secondary or lower status given to them as compared to men. And here in the house, she sees how her mother and father are always like equals in the house. They don't show discrimination between one another. Okay, it's also said that the husband is so supportive of the wife that he allows her to do her work properly, and if he did not, then she would not be so successful. Okay, which tells us that the father is a very good person because he believes in man woman equality. Okay, I hope you all have understood so far, children. Let's move forward. Her father's words are still ringing in the ears of Lanthoy, and she tells her mother of what her father has told her. Appreciative of her husband for his views, Ashangbi says, "Your father is right. In no society do women enjoy the same opportunities enjoyed by men. It is because of your father that I feel no difference or inequality at home. But outside our home, I have seen that women have been subjugated in many ways. It is against the will of God. God has sent men and women to our earth to share the joys and sorrows of life equally, to share His blessings, and to enjoy the bounty of nature equally. That is what your topic means." So she's still having a conversation with her mother, and when she tells her mother the discussion she and her father had, the mother was very happy, appreciative to be happy with what the father has said, because the father has said the truth, saying that outside the house, women do have a lot of problems. But within their home, within their house, she says the father has never ever treated her differently. Okay, and they have always been as equals in the family. Okay, and she also says that God has made both man and woman equal in status. No one is bigger or stronger or higher than the other. Okay, they are all equal, and we are all put on the earth to enjoy His blessings, God's blessings, and also to enjoy nature, the bounty of nature, the plenty that is there in nature. Okay, so many things are there in nature for us to enjoy. It does not mean that only men get to enjoy and women have to suffer. Each one is made equally in the eyes of God and nature. Subjugated meaning to have control over. Ashangbi knows well that men and women are equal. Women, who are half of the human race, are as important as men. She writes and talks about such topics. Her daughter, though a child, also understands well that her mother is not a person of lesser quality than her father. She says, "Our home is full of love with you, mother." The mother beams with joy at the words of her daughter. As a matter of fact, mother is the fountain of love in a family. This bond of love is beyond comparison with anything else in the world. It is because of this that motherhood has been glorified and women accept the challenges in life to become a mother. So, here, usually men are always given that higher status. Maybe in a family, you know the mother will always serve the father and the son first, and then serve the daughter, for food. Or maybe when they go out, usually whatever the husband or the father wants to do, the whole family has to do. Okay, so these little things are what we see in society. But because we are now in the 21st century, okay, through this lesson we are getting to learn that men and women should be treated equally. And even though Ashangbi knows that men and women are equal, she writes about this, she talks about it because she's an activist, she's working for the rights of women. She says that men and women should not be treated equally. Sorry, should be treated equally, and there should be no distinction between men and women. And Lanthoy, looks up, she admires her mother, and she says, "Our home is full of love because of you, mother." It is because of a mother that a house, just with bricks and cement, turns into a home that is full of laughter, a home that is full of love, of caring nature between all members of the family. It is the mother that is the glue. She holds us all together. Yes or no? If anything happens in the family, she is the one who we hold on to. We take advice from her. All right. So the joy of motherhood, or the joy of becoming a mother, all right, has been glorified here. And women go through a lot of problems, okay, in their lives, but they take it up as a challenge, and they bring laughter and love and joy into the family, and they change the house into a home. Okay, and that love that a child and a mother shares cannot be compared to any feeling in the world. Okay, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the cars, all the riches, all the jewelry, all whatever is precious, but the love that your mother and you share cannot be compared to anything. And this is what the lesson is trying to tell us, that even though people are running behind money nowadays, it is the small things that matter. The hug of a mother, or that little tap on the shoulder from your father and says good job, that is what brings joy in the lives of people. Not money, not wealth, because today you might have it and tomorrow it might just go away, but these things you will cherish forever in your life. And this is what the parents are trying to give to the children. And Lanthoi, being an intelligent girl, has already learnt that in her family there is no such thing of inequality. Each one is treated equally. Showing deep affection, Ashangbi continues. Pioneer women testify to the equality of women with men. Actually, life is not possible without both women and men. Lanthoi has been fascinated by the stories of pioneer women. Her grandmother had narrated many stories of the brave queens like Linthoin Gambi and Kuranga Nayani, who were as brave as kings. There were, sorry, there were also many brave women among the common people. These women, as her grandmother narrated, were makers of home, family, society, and the nation. They were civilizing influences. At the same time, they were also adventurers who claimed their shares in free land, plowed and raised crops with their own hands, and drove cattle. Modern women have become mountaineers, naturalists, astronauts, scientists, soldiers, and political leaders. This proves that there is nothing a woman cannot do, and also that women and men were created as equals. So simple, yes or no? So she says that pioneer women, the women that started something, they took up the first challenge in a particular field. They are the ones who can testify, they are proof for us that equality between men and women is possible. Okay, that man and woman are equal. And Lanthoi then remembers the stories that her grandmother used to tell her about these women, brave women who fought against the society and have done work that only men were supposed to do, to plow the field. Okay, and she says that they have done so much of work that they will always be in the memories of people. Okay, they were the ones who were civilizing influences. What do you mean by civilizing? They were educating the people, because at that time people had negative outlook towards women. They always felt that women have to be at home, look after the children, look after the home, look after the husband, okay, make proper food, clean the house, and that was it. But these women showed the society that women are capable of much more. Okay, and at that time they were the ones who were making a home, a family, a society, and the nation. So we are capable children of building a nation, and yet women are still not given a proper status in society. You all are aware of what are the various crimes that are committed against women. Women are not safe in the society. Okay, so when we say that women can do everything, then the men should also cooperate. They should be the ones who should say that yes, women and men are equal and we are not superior than them. Okay, she also talks about modern women and how women nowadays have become so they can do anything that they feel like. They can become mountaineers, they can become astronauts, scientists. In the beginning only men were supposed to take up these career opportunities, but now women can even become political leaders, they can become astronauts. They can, you all have heard of various astronauts that have gone to space that were women, yes or no? So we get to see that not only in the olden days but even today, women must be given equal status in society as the same with men. This proves that there is nothing a woman cannot do, and also that women and men are created as equals. So now we can say that women are, they are almost in every field now. Before you could see that only doctors that were male doctors, but now we see that women also have become doctors, they have become engineers, you can see mechanics, yes or no? So now we can say that women are catching up to men so that they can be treated equally in the society. Then she asks her mother further, Mother, you've thrown light on the equality of men and women and also have emphasized that the world is still an unequal world. Then, what I would like to know is if there are moral, social, and legal provisions to enable women to express their physical and mental potential and to set themselves free from suppression. Amazed at the curiosity of her daughter, Ashangbi adds, there are many. Under the aegis of the United Nations, there is a declaration for a new world of equality. It has the following dimensions: equal access to basic social services, including health and education, equal participation in political and economic decision making, equal reward for equal work, and elimination of discrimination and violence against women. So we see now that Langthoi has still been thinking about how men and women are equal in the family, everyone is treated equally. So we see that Langthoi has been thinking about what her mother has to say, and she asks her mother, is there no legal way, like are there ways where women can use the law to protect themselves, to show that they have so much of potential to have capabilities in them? And Ashangbi was very satisfied with the fact that her daughter was asking such uh, you know thought provoking questions. So she says there are many ways where women can protect themselves by using the law under the aegis, okay, that is under the protection of the United Nations. United Nations is a organization that helps to protect human rights. There is a declaration of a new world of equality. So she says that there are various ways under the United Nations where women can use the law to protect themselves. Firstly, to have equal access to basic social services like health and education. Nowadays women can be educated, yes or no? That's why we have co-ed schools, colleges, even people can go and gain diplomas, degrees. Equal participation in political and economic decision making. You know that women have now even entered the field of politics. We have women leaders, people who are there in the parliament. There are special seats only reserved for women. Why is this done? So that each one can be given equal opportunity, equal rewards for equal work. Okay, so if two people are there, one is a man, one is a woman, and both are doing equal work, then they should also be paid equally. Not that only the man should be paid a higher salary and the woman should be given a lesser salary. Since they are doing the same work, they should be paid equally. Elimination of discrimination and violence against women. Domestic violence in the house, if you see, like, men are hitting women and all of that, there should be completely eliminated. It should be completely eliminated to be removed, taken out from society. Then the mother concluded, "My dear daughter, we can affirm along with the United Nations that men and women are equal. We can say yes, that men and women are equal with the help of the United Nations." Lanthoy understands what her mother means and what the topic of the symposium means. Thus, confident of success, the next day, after thanking her mother, the girl of 12 happily rushes out of the room in the bright morning sun. The blue sky meets the ranges of the eastern mountains. The small girl is always fascinated by the small trail which winds up the distant purple mountain. So finally, after a long discussion with her mother, she has understood the importance of the topic and also what it means that men and women are created equally in the world. Okay, and the next day she was very happy, she was confident that she will be able to put her views and her opinions forward at the symposium. And then it talks about the beautiful day that has started and how Lanthoy has learned so much about man and woman equality. So with that, children, we come to the end of our lesson. I hope you all enjoyed the lesson. Now we come to the workshop. Okay. Uh, the first one is find from the lesson words, phrases that mean the following. Colors is hues. Remember in the beginning of the lesson, hues. And a person who writes for newspapers or magazines is known as a journalist. So similarly, I want all of you all to do the remaining. Pick out 5 compound words from the lesson. What do you mean by compound words? Compound words are nothing but two words which have separate meaning but you combine it together. Like for example, class and room. Okay, they are two different words but we put them together and we find a new word, that is classroom. Now in this lesson, what are the various compound words that you find? Okay, I'm giving you 2 examples. Crystal clear and wholeheartedly. Whole and heart. Okay, two different words but put together. Crystal clear, two words put together. Okay, there are many other examples, children. Blackboard, raincoat, teapot, all these are examples of compound words. Now, in question number 2, I want you to do this on your own because you have to give your opinions, your ideas about what you feel after you have read the lesson. Okay, so these 3 questions have to be put down in your notebook along with the questions that are there at the side of the text. Okay, side of the lesson, all those questions along with question number 2. Now, in the previous class, you have already studied what pronouns are. Yes or no? A pronoun is nothing but words used in place of a noun. Yes or no? So, you already know what nouns are. Names of a person, place, animal. Okay? So, pronouns are words that are used in place of that. So, you have pronouns like I, you, he, she. Okay, now personal pronouns, when you're using it for someone who you know or for yourself. Okay, so I, you, he, she, my, your, his, her, they are all examples of personal pronouns. Now there are also other words which are used in place of nouns. All right, for example, they have given you this, that, these, those, point to some noun. Look at, okay, now say this is the example given over here. This is a kingfisher. Okay, or those are herons. Such pronouns are called demonstrative pronouns. It is demonstrating something, showing you, pointing out. Okay, so look at this snake. Okay, next, some pronouns not only replace nouns but also connect to sentences. Now, don't confuse it with conjunctions. Okay, those also connect to sentences, but here we are using a pronoun. For example, biology is a science, one sentence. It studies living organisms, second sentence. So, biology is a science that or which studies living organisms. Okay, so which or that are also pronouns. Therefore, it is called a relative pronoun. Why relative? Because it is showing the connection between the first sentence and the second sentence, showing the relation. Therefore, relative pronoun. Some pronouns are used to ask questions. For example, what is your name? Which is your coat? Who is your coach? The underlined words are interrogative pronouns. You'll already know what interrogation means, yes or no, where you ask questions. So here, WH words like what, when, where, all of these are also pronouns, and therefore they are known as interrogative pronouns. Now, there is a small exercise over here given for you. Underline the pronouns in the following sentences and name their types. So, read through this again and you will do this on your own in the textbook itself. Okay, so with that, children, we come to the end of our lesson. I hope that you all have understood the lesson. I want you all to read the lesson once more, and the question and answers the questions which are at the side of the lesson as well as question number 2 will be written in your notebook. Okay, so with that we come to the end. I hope you all enjoyed the lesson. Thank you, students, and have a wonderful day.